At 68 years old, I discovered my husband of 42 years was cheating with his 26-year-old secretary. David thought I was too old and dependent to leave him. He told me, "You're nothing without me." Where will you go at your age? What David didn't know was that for the past 15 years, I've been the silent partner who actually built his multi-million-dollar business. I knew every account, every password, every dirty secret. This is the story of how I dismantled his empire in 90 days and left him bankrupt while I retired to the Caribbean. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you never miss revenge stories like this. My name is Margaret Chen, and I'm 68 years old. Last year, I destroyed my cheating husband's entire business empire and walked away with everything. Let me tell you how. I married David when I was 26, and he was 28. We built a life together for 42 years. I supported him through business school, through his failed first startup, through bankruptcy. When he finally launched Chen Technologies 15 years ago, I was there managing the finances while he played CEO. David's tech company grew into a $20 million operation. Everyone thought David was the genius behind it. The truth? I structured every deal, managed every investment, built every client relationship. David was the face. I was the brain. For 15 years, I worked 12-hour days building that company while David took credit. I didn't mind because I loved him and thought we were partners. Then 3 months ago, everything changed. I came home early from a business trip and found David in our bed with Jessica, his 26-year-old secretary. They were laughing, drinking champagne from our wedding crystal. When David saw me, he didn't even look guilty. "Margaret, this doesn't concern you. Jessica makes me feel young again. You're just old." I was devastated, but I kept my composure. "David, we've been married 42 years. And you've been boring for the last 20. I want a divorce. You can keep the house, but everything else is mine. The business, the accounts, all of it. You're just the wife. I built this company." That's when something inside me snapped. David thought I was just the wife? I'd spent 15 years building his empire while he gave speeches and flirted with clients. He had no idea what was coming. I hired the best divorce attorney in the state, Sandra Martinez. "Sandra, my husband thinks I'm helpless. He's about to learn otherwise. Margaret, tell me everything about the business. I know every client, every contract, every hidden account. David has been committing tax fraud for 5 years, hiding money in offshore accounts. He's been billing clients for fake services. He's been embezzling from his own company. I have proof of everything because I'm the one who managed the books." Sandra smiled. "Then let's take him down." First, I secured copies of every financial document. Bank statements, tax returns, offshore account information, client contracts, everything. I'd been the one managing it all, so I had access to everything David thought was hidden. Then I called every major client David had. "This is Margaret Chen from Chen Technologies. I'm calling to inform you that there have been some irregularities in your billing. I believe you've been overcharged significantly. I'd like to schedule a meeting to discuss refunds." Within a week, 12 major clients demanded audits. They discovered David had been billing them for services never provided, inflating hours, charging for fake employees. The contracts I'd carefully structured made the company liable for millions in refunds. David called me panicking. "Margaret, what did you do? Clients are threatening lawsuits." I told them the truth, David. "You've been defrauding them for years. I have the evidence. Every fake invoice, every inflated bill, everything. You can't do this. This is my company. Actually, David, according to our corporate structure that I set up 15 years ago, I own 49%, and I'm now selling my shares to your biggest competitor for $8 million. They're very interested in acquiring your client list and your technology. You'll be bankrupt in 60 days. I sold my shares to TechVision Industries, David's main competitor. The sale contract I'd negotiated gave TechVision access to all of Chen Technologies' proprietary software, client lists, and patents. Everything David thought he owned was now controlled by his rival, but I wasn't done. I contacted the IRS with complete documentation of David's tax fraud. 5 years of hidden income, unreported offshore accounts, fake deductions. The evidence was irrefutable because I'd been the one managing those accounts for him. The IRS launched an investigation. David faced criminal charges for tax evasion, fraud, and money laundering. The penalties totaled $12 million, more than his company was worth. Then I filed for divorce. My attorney presented evidence of David's affair, his verbal abuse, and his attempt to hide marital assets. California is a community property state, which meant I was entitled to half of everything accumulated during our marriage. Your Honor, Sandra said, Mrs. Chen built this business while her husband took credit. She managed the finances, structured the deals, and maintained client relationships. Mr. Chen committed adultery, verbally abused her, and attempted to defraud her of her rightful share. We're asking for 70% of all marital assets plus spousal support. David's lawyer tried to argue that I was just a housewife who knew nothing about business. Sandra destroyed that argument with 15 years of financial records showing my signature on every major deal, my emails with clients, my strategic planning documents. The judge awarded me 65% of all assets. That included our house, worth $3 million, our investment portfolio worth $5 million, David's pension and retirement accounts worth $2 million, plus monthly spousal support of $15,000 for the rest of my life. David was left with almost nothing. His company collapsed after losing his major clients and facing lawsuits. TechVision Industries picked up the pieces for pennies on the dollar. The IRS seized his remaining assets to pay his tax debt. He had to sell his luxury car, his vacation home, everything. Jessica left him the moment the money disappeared. Turned out a 26-year-old secretary wasn't interested in a bankrupt 69-year-old with criminal charges pending. David tried to contact me. Margaret, please. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Can we talk? I blocked his number. Today, I live in a beachfront villa in Barbados. I sold the house in California and invested the money wisely. Between my divorce settlement, my share sale, and my investments, I'm worth approximately $11 million. I wake up every morning to ocean views. I spend my days reading, swimming, traveling. I've started a consulting business helping other women navigate divorce and business dissolution. I teach them what I learned. Knowledge is power, and patience is everything. David, meanwhile, lives in a one-bedroom apartment and works as a sales associate at a tech store. His criminal case was resolved with probation and community service after he paid his IRS debt, but his reputation is destroyed. Nobody in the tech industry will hire him. He's 69 years old with no retirement, no savings, and no prospects. People ask me if I feel guilty about destroying him. The answer is no. David thought I was nothing without him. He thought 42 years of marriage meant nothing compared to a young secretary. He thought I was too old, too dependent, too weak to fight back. He forgot that I built his empire. I knew every secret, every password, every weakness. When you underestimate the woman who made you successful, you lose everything. I'm 68 years old. I'm a successful consultant. I'm a multimillionaire living in paradise. And I'm a woman who proved that age doesn't mean weakness. It means experience, wisdom, and the patience to execute perfect revenge. David learned that the wife you dismiss at 68 is the same woman who built everything you have. Disrespect her and she'll take it all away. I didn't just win the divorce. I dismantled his entire life while building my dream retirement. That's not revenge. That's justice. The end.